defense. They've been in every ball game they played, and they've gotten worn down a little bit, but they're exceptional. They got great talent on the defensive side of the ball. So it's going to be a tough challenge for us.
Shawn, I'm working on a story about Jarrell. What does he bring to the line?
He's an athletic guy. Can run. He's pretty physical. He's playing pretty good right now. And not a bunch of mistakes from him, but he's developing a little bit of leadership, so he's coming along.
Is there room for him at the next level, do you think, the NFL?
I don't decide that. Those guys decide that, and he does. So we'll let them make that decision.
Shawn, what do you make about all the talk about play calling? Is that much ado about nothing in your mind?
I don't know. I don't have anything to do with it. So, I just prepare them to run the plays to whoever calls. So I'm pretty pleased with whatever works. If we block them, we protect them. Everything seems to run smoothly, so I don't worry about it. So.
Well, Coach Spurrier says you do have some input as far as the run plays go.
No, I don't know about that. We don't have a lot of run plays. We just, like I said, whatever's called, we got to get it done.
Was that something you guys discussed when you were hired as to what kind of role you would have?
No, not at all. I think the scheme of things, the zone stuff that we do is a little bit of my input, but we all have a lot of input in everything we do. I don't think there's any individual has more say or not, but right now it's okay. It's doing good.
How'd you grade out in Nashville?
Me? Myself?
Well, your players.
It was the tale of two hats, just like in Kentucky. I thought they had a horrible first quarter. I didn't think they were very focused, ready to play. And as the game progressed, they got better there in the second quarter. In the second quarter, we had that drive, no missed assignments. In the second half, I thought they played really well. They came out and made some blocks and sprung Maddox a little bit and got him some running room. So I thought they had a much better second half than they had a first half. So.
Was that a situation where Miles just didn't have much space in the first half and Maddox found some holes?
Listen, you need to blame it all on the offensive line. If there's holes up there, the backs will get them. It's hard to go run into nothing. We just got to consistently open holes for whoever's back there. It just didn't happen in the first quarter. When Kenny was getting an opportunity, put it on the backs of the offensive line. We got to open the holes for those guys.
You have any thoughts on why that inconsistency is there from quarter to quarter?
I can't put my finger on it. Sometimes environment plays a little bit of role. So a lot of people try to say that, but it's just you got to have 4 quarters of focus. We've had a couple games where we've had 4 quarters of focus, but we've yet to put it game to game to game. That's when we got to put it back to back to back.
How has TJ's transition to center gone? I know he's gotten some grief for snaps, but other than that, what's it?
I think he's done pretty well. A guy, you put a ball in his hand, he's never played center before. He's handled a lot of pressure in doing that. He's got to understand he's the guy, and it all starts with him. So I think he's done a pretty good job. He's got to improve, of course, just like anybody. He's a first-year starter at the center position, so he's done a pretty good job.
New scheme. This is kind of a new blocking scheme for everybody, right?
I have no idea. I know they did a little bit of it a year ago, but it's of course it's a little bit different terminology for them. And of course, with myself coming in, I would imagine it would have to be a little bit in technique-wise.
How much is on TJ in terms of making the calls? And
TJ reads fronts, and that's what he's got to do for us. He's got to read fronts and make adjustments that way based on what they show us. And he's the guy that kind of sets the stage for us. Mm-hmm. And then after the stage is set, we've got to go execute it across the board, but he's the guy that sets it up.
How's he done in that regard?
I think he's done well. There's been a couple of times that he's missed some reads that we should have picked up, but, got to get a lot better. There's room for improvement, but right now we're going okay.
Yes, what have you seen so far in the Tennessee defensive line that you're really, concerned about going in the weekend?
They're athletic. They all can run. They're tall, lean guys. They run a lot of stunts. They're moving constantly. No doubt, I think it's probably the best athletic football team we've seen is the defensive line we'll face. And that's something that scares you. Guys that can move, that can play an inside shade technique, and then boom, they're rushing around the right edge. So you got to see, they're tough. They're tough.
From an X's and O's standpoint, how tough is it for an offensive line to defend that zone blitz scheme that Vanderbilt does last week? Is it easier X's and O's than what Tennessee will try and line up and do?
I think everything's easy as long as you prepare for it. As long as you're prepared, you should be able to pick things up. That's the bottom line. if you're not prepared for it, you don't have a lot of focus, and everything's tough. I don't care. It could be a simple cross stunt blitz inside, or it could be 4 off one side, 4 off the other. If you're not prepared for it, it's going to be tough. If you are prepared for it, you should be able to handle it.
Health-wise, everybody going in pretty good, close to 100%?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're in pretty good shape. I don't think there's any big injury concerns.